Well, okay, let's go back to something that's really interesting. You came out as somebody who was one of the first people to break the Jamie Foxx story. Can you
I broke it.
remind?
I was the guy.
That's what I'm saying. All right,
I
so
broke
you
it.
remind people what you came out and originally said.
Back in May of that year, a friend of mine who has a private jet, I never disclosed his name, also was a friend of Jamie's. And he told me he went to go see Jamie in Chicago and stopped to see another friend. So he went to go to hospital to see two friends who were sick. And he said when he saw Jamie, he was partially blind and partially paralyzed. And this was early on in his hospital stay. This guy would never lie to me. He's never lied to me. So I know he told the truth. And it was about the fact that Jamie got the COVID shot, didn't want to get it, but got it, and then fell ill, which a lot of people had that experience in those unfortunate days. So I reported that. I've never had a story in the last 8 years that went around the world. I mean, I was getting called by the newspapers in India. It was insane.
Right.
And Jamie Foxx kept saying, no, his daughter spoke out about me. She called me some white guy, said my dad was blind. And he was. She lied and said he's playing pickleball, which is a big bullshit lie.
Right.
And now I was listening to people in the last few months say Jamie Foxx's comedy special on Netflix. He says that Diddy got him sick. Diddy poisoned him. And I'm watching people, comedians I know very well, and they're just saying this, which takes us back to the earlier point of people just saying shit on podcasts. And I go, that's bullshit. He would never say that. He would never say in public, Diddy poisoned me. And of course, if you watch the special, he doesn't say that. So I feel vindicated. He did say he couldn't move. He did say how bad it was. But for him to say, I asked for an aspirin, I asked for an Advil, and then I was out for whatever it was, 10, 15, 20 days. It's just bullshit. It's a bullshit story. He stuck to it. He's never came at me, although there was a phone call placed by his people to my people about that story. Then they dropped it. Because I said to my producer, I'm not backing off this story. I know for a fact it's true. And they walked away. And that's a victory for a journalist whenever they walk away, when you say, no, not backing down. Never heard from them again. So look, I think Jamie Foxx, and I've said this many times, is the most talented guy in Hollywood. Singing, dancing, comedy, drama, athletic movies, you name it. Oscar winner. Jamie Foxx is amazing. And I hate that he got sick. I'm glad he's healthy again. But, my job has always been to tell the truth. And I don't think it's about Diddy at all, although I think Jamie did see a lot of things during those Diddy nights. And God, this story, I hope this thing ends in a trial that we can have and the irony of the Diddy trial is it's going to start the same day as the Met Ball. It's going to be amazing.
Oh my gosh. When is this? March or May?
Early May. First month.
May.
Is it first Monday in May? Something like that.
Yeah, it's like May 5th.
May 5th. Usually, yeah. So that's hopefully it all works out from now till then and we get to see this trial, because I still have a sinking feeling that he's not going to get the kind of time he deserves. Because I've known Diddy. We all came up together in the early 90s. I always told people he's dangerous. There are people dead because of Diddy. I said that publicly years ago. And now all this comes to light. And I was with Diddy when he was cheating on Jennifer Lopez. And I remember going, why is he at this pool? But I was at my ex-girlfriend's house in the Hamptons. He stopped over with this young girl. And I'm like, he's with Jennifer Lopez. And he's with this young, looked like a freshman in college. What is he doing? She wasn't even that hot. And J-Lo at that point was, the pinnacle of sexy, Boricua, Puerto Rican passion.
Right.
And I just said, this guy's no good. He's a real fucking weird guy.
Did you ever ask him like what he was doing?
No, that day I was not even writing for the newspaper anymore, but he knew me. And he went to my ex-girlfriend and kind of said, is it cool that I'm here? And she goes, he doesn't do that anymore. Don't worry about it. And I never said it. I had avenues to give it to people. I never sold it or said it to anybody. I could have called Page Six. I let him have his fun. But now that the wagons are circling him, he really should do a lot of time. But I just have a sinking suspicion that it's not going to be as long as we think he should get.
Wait, on a side note, because you brought that up, do you think there's some truth to the fact that when powerful women are the girlfriends.
Mhm.
And men cheat, like you're talking about. Do you think it's just because they think that woman is a pain in the ass and she's no longer in her female energy? I mean, why is it that you hear about so many men that are married to or dating powerful, beautiful women in the news, in the forefront? They do things behind their back, and you would think, as a woman, you're thinking no one's better than this woman.
Unfortunately, it's a biological thing, and it sucks to hear this, and it sucks to say this as a man, but you can be with the love of your life or the girl that turns you on more than anything, and you still turn your head. You still look and go, "Oh my God, she looks amazing. Oh, Jesus, what a body on that girl." It's just the way guys are. It's just the way, and women don't understand. We talk that way all the time. Locker room talk, grab them by the pussy. I know it sounds gross. A lot of men do this. And the ones who say they don't are full of shit because they don't want to get their wives angry at them. Men talk this way, and some men have a big enough ego that they think they can wander off, take down that girl because that woman probably wants to fuck that guy because he's famous and rich and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in it for her. There's something in it for his ego. It's a shitty thing, but unfortunately, it's biological, and I can't stand that it happens, but it does happen.
But
As beautiful
I
as a girl,
understand the biology of looking and being attracted to somebody else, but the biology of the acting on it and cheating, do you think that all men cheat?
no, I don't think that. No, but I think that there are some men who've had an easy time of it. I had an easy time of it when I was younger and handsome, and I could go anywhere and find somebody I liked. It wasn't hard.
Mm,
And then when you realize that, you go, I also like being with someone too. I like that feeling of being with a girlfriend.
right.
And then that lizard brain kicks in and go, well, if I take care of her and we're really doing great, what's the difference if I go out once in a while and, grab a girl here and there if she's into it and I'm into it? I still love my girlfriend. I know it's a shitty way of thinking, but it's also I don't think that way now. But when I was younger, I thought that doesn't mean anything. She
Right.
wants to have fun. I want to have fun. And also, if you have any kind of power or weight in the industry or recording star, athlete, whatever, power's all relative. It's hard to put down that gavel and go, I don't need to do that anymore. Men always like to check in and see if they still got it.
Right. Okay.
It sucks.
Okay.
It sucks. But hopefully the good ones don't. But a lot of us were that way for years until we got straight.
I get it. Let's go back to Diddy for a second. Do you think that this year is going to bring a downfall for a lot more people that we are not aware of right now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I
Do
don't
you think
like
he's going to give that up to save himself, or you think these people are just going to have lawsuits that are starting to trickle out?
The reason why I think Diddy's not going to get the time he deserves is because I've heard that he's been complying with the feds for years, that he has given them information on people for years, and they've kind of kept him in a good light and overlooked some of the bullshit he was involved in because of the fact that he supplied them with information. We go back to early 91 or 92 when all those, I think 4 or 5 people died at a party. He promoted a concert. He promoted in New York City. They couldn't get out of the exits. I think 5 people died on a party he was promoting. And I think after that, he began to cooperate. But yeah, unfortunately, there are people that have already made deals and bought the videotapes that they heard the feds had, because the feds have contacted people. Look, you're on video. I still think J-Lo's on video, and I think that played a reason why her and Ben broke apart, but they're still close. You can see they still talk. She still sees his kids and vice versa. So I think that was somewhat of a career move for him. I can't be around you. You're poison right now. It's going to come out. So many people are able to buy these videos and save their names, but there are others that are going to get trampled and they're going to be dragged across the public forum. It's not going to be as many people as we think because deals are being cut all the time, every single day. And all those people got money to burn, and it's not an object. They can easily pay people off. Give me the tape. This can't get out. What do you need? How many millions? So we're going to see some people, but I don't think it's going to be the magnificent amount that it could have been.
Are you hearing anything behind the scenes about people that we have never heard their names in this light that you think are going to come out?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know necessarily if they were involved in the sex as much as they were involved in being complicit with what was going on in the room in the
Right.
house at that point. There are
Right.
people watching, but no, there are. I mean, look, I've heard stories about DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire and Ashton Kutcher. My God, he was around a lot. I would not be surprised if Ashton and Mila Kunis move out of America and go someplace far away because they've had a rough go of it
I think I
between.
read that they were moving to Spain or something.
Yeah, between Danny Masterson and this bullshit, Ashton's got to get out of town.
Mm.
I'm not sure that marriage survives either because of the shit that goes on.
Mhm.
So I, I just think that there are going to be people that come out that have big names, but Hollywood is such a fucked up town. I was close with Harvey Weinstein in the respect that I talked to him every week. I went to all the parties. Harvey called me all the time. He gave me my book deal, bought the movie rights. He was so good to me. And as good as a reporter as I was and am, I never heard about him raping a woman. I heard he got laid. I heard he gets women. They want, the typical Hollywood casting couch shit. So I didn't even know that. And some friends of mine think I'm lying. I'm not
Mm.
lying. I think
Mm.
he's a scumbag. He's my friend, but if he raped one girl, go away. Fuck you.
Mhm.
You're a pig. I got a
Mhm.
wife and a daughter. I can't hear that shit.
Mhm.
But there are people in Hollywood who knew about this, like the Ellens and the Clooney. So many people went to these parties that you start to hear things like, yeah, no, I heard there's at night, these things go on all night to the next day. And you walk away and go back to your big mansion and you forget you heard it. But
Mhm.
yes, those things were heard. And I think, look, I don't think Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah was having sex, but I think guys like TD Jakes maybe were in some compromising positions. And the
Mhm.
scariest thing is going to be that the people who didn't know they were on tape and after watching these videos, the feds can see that these people had no idea. And that's going to be what really nails him.
Right.
The
Right.
people who didn't know. You can't
Right.
do that. That's awful.
I agree. All right. So we'll be tuning in May or up till
Oh,
May to see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
And what do you think with the Jay-Z lawsuit?
Well, I don't. The girl had some timeline problems. I believe that when she said something happened to her, I don't think Jay Z and P Diddy were even in the same state at that night. On that
Right.
night, so
Right.
she's got some issues.
I did
But
see an interview with her lawyer, which seemed really believable. He said he had almost over 60 people come to him to hire him for, something against Jay-Z, and he only took her case and I think two others, something like that, because hers was so credible. I had never heard of this lawyer. I don't know what his
yeah,
track record is. I don't know what his, I don't know anything about him, so I don't know why
right.
he picked her, but I did hear that there was some timeline issues. Doesn't mean she's lying. I will tell you, I don't remember stuff that happened to me last
Of,
week,
of
even if it was
course,
dramatic.
of
So,
course, I know.
I think memory is, can be something that is iffy, but
Yeah,
we'll see what happens there.
that
But
that that night in question, I said to my audience on my show that I was at that show. It was probably the last year I went to those award shows because I was out of journalism. I was in LA working in TV, but I still got invited to things.
mhm,
And I remember I went to that, but I really couldn't be sure if I went. You know what I mean?
right,
Like I think I was there, but that's going to be a lot of people's memory. You think you remember, but you don't quite remember. But I look, Jay Z, look, of course his feet were close to the fire. You could just see the way Beyonce's sister treated him that night in the elevator. You can see that Beyonce and him, there's there just seems to be a little bit of a split, not divorce, not separation, but they seem to be doing things on their own a little bit, like just to distance themselves for a
yeah,
little time. I don't
mhm,
think Jay-Z's absolutely guilty as Diddy, but I think he certainly was around and was there and either took part or witnessed the kind of shit that Diddy was doing. I don't think anybody was as crazy as Diddy. I don't
mhm,
think Jay-Z has that gene in him. Diddy has that gene. Diddy's a wild man.
mm.
Guns and drugs, and it goes so much further than this. We're talking about putting hits on people, and is he the reason why Biggie's dead? I always thought it was
Mm.
with that whole procession of cars and Diddy in the other truck. It just nothing sounded right to me.
I mean,
And
from that all the way to, I don't know if you remember that doctor, Ryan Frank, I think is his name. I can't, he was the doctor that did Cassie's
Oh, yeah.
boob,
Yeah.
boob job. He
Right.
soon after died. She got out of surgery, and Puffy said, "Take these out immediately." He said, "I
Yeah.
can't. You have to wait a little bit. It'll kill her.
Right.
Could kill her if I take these out." He made him take
I
them
know.
out. And he's the same doctor that did all of Spencer Pratt's wife. What was her
Yeah,
name?
Heidi
Heidi. He
Montauk.
did her full body.
She looked
And
good.
she
Heidi looked good.
They were very good friends with him. They said he never texted and drive. Somehow he
Yeah, I
died.
know. It's
Coming
so
out of his
crazy.
own
Yeah.
driveway.
No,
Yeah.
I look at Kim Porter.
Mhm.
I knew Kim. You know, like I said, we all came up together in that era. Albie Shore was a great friend of mine. Andre Harrell was a friend of mine. Albie didn't die, but was in a coma for a long time, almost died. Andre Harrell died of a heart attack. Heavy D, who was at Bad Boy Records, died. Kim Porter died of pneumonia. And I tell this story, I don't know if I told you, but maybe in like 2000, I'm back in New York at some club and I see Kim Porter with another girlfriend. And I thought Kim was really sexy and pretty. And she was kind of looking at me, and I never met her. And sure enough, her girlfriend comes by and says, "Why don't you sit with us?" All right. I go sit with them, and I'm having a good time with Kim, and we're flirting. And at the end of the night, she says, "Take my number. Let's get together one night." And I remember saying to her, and my nephew was with me, I said, "What are we going to do? You're Puffy's girl." And she goes, "Don't worry about that. That's not even a thing." And I remember going, wow, I'm not sure what that means, but I don't want to I wanted to be with Kim, but I'm like, nah, don't call. There's too many other things going on. Don't call. And I didn't call. But it was almost like I would have learned then that either he doesn't care or he likes boys more than women. I don't know. But she just laughed when I said, "You're Puffy's girl. What are we going to do? Don't worry about him." That was 25 years ago.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So it's been happening a long time.
Very interesting.